You know it by now, but the podcast is on Patreon. For as little as £2 a month, you can support the podcast, get early access to the podcast, ask questions on the podcast, and of course, get extra content, vlogs, early access tickets, all that shebang for as little as £2. Like, you can't even get a coffee nowadays for that. So get on over patreon.com/SlyGuy podcast, or just follow the link in the description of the podcast. Thank you in advance, and I appreciate it. The Sly Guy podcast is brought to you in association with Visual Antics Apparel. Look at this merch. Physique Guy Athletics, Northern Ireland. What does this mean? Who knows? But it means I'm on a journey to be less fat. And you can be too. With the discount code SlyGuy10 at checkout, you get 10% off your Visual Antics merch from this particular podcast. Don't be using my discount code and other things because you get fuck all for it. Alright? But you get it for mine. Follow the link in the description. Get Visual Antics up now. Modest Beer has sponsored this podcast from the day this podcast debuted. That's all you need to know. Loyalty. If you want to be loyal to them too, visit their website, modestbeer.co.uk, and subscribe to their newsletter, which is a tasty mashup between words, newsletter, and the word brew, because that's what you do with beers. You brew and you news and you brews letter for all the news to do with Modest Beer. You can sign up there, you can get nice merch, you can get beers, there's a wide range of beers, there's stouts, there's IPAs, there's lagers, there's other beers, and also you can get a discount code when you're in your wee basket at the end of 15% by using the discount code SlyPA15 at checkout. And maybe one day there will be a SlyPA beer, or maybe there won't, but you'll only find that out if you sign up to Modest Beer's newsletter by following the link in the description. Thank you.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Sly Guy podcast. This week we had friend of the show and friend of history and friend of tourism and friend of baths, Jordan Robinson. The first time he's been on the podcast where we didn't actually speak at length about our bathing routines. We spoke about a lot of different silly fun things. I learned stuff about a bear pit today that I didn't know was true. I didn't know people owned bears in this country who were actual animals as opposed to men in chains. But it was a fascinating episode. It was fun. It was silly. I found out why people actually like the Belfast Giants. Weird. And it was just a great episode. So buckle yourselves into your seatbelts if you're driving your car. If you're not, don't put a seatbelt on because that would be constrictive. And enjoy this week's episode of the Sly Guy podcast with me, Dave Elliott, and my guest, Jordan Robinson. Jordan Robinson, the
back
man,
again.
The legend, is back on the Sly Guy podcast on what some people say is your favourite podcast to guest on. I've heard. I've heard rumours.
This is the podcast where I've been recognised most from.
Nice.
I went for a suit fitting today. Got recognised from this very podcast, and then tertiarily.
Okay. Down the line.
Thank you. I also got recognised for doing stand up for getting the suit fitting today, so that was
nice.
cool.
Now,
cool.
at what stage of the suit fitting was that brought up? Like, were they down on their knees and inside leg?
Not joking, inside leg.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you do stand up, right? You've been on Dave Elliott's podcast. I'm like, correct to both. Yes.
Yeah. You're a bit of a sly guy. Well, I had a moment something quite similar to that. I went across to there was a guy getting some work done in the house, get his painting needing done. So there's a guy painting the house across the road, looking a few quotes, looking the house painted for, and I walked across, and the guy was like, obviously earphones in, bit of painting, and I sort of like, oh hello, how you doing? And he was like, if it isn't the Sly Guy, and I was like, yes, but also I don't know now. I know your name, so it's a bit like weird. You know?
Do you think that he knew about the podcast, or was he just calling you a Sly
I mean,
Guy?
he could have done, because maybe he had heard I was talking about him to other neighbours or being a bit mean that way. But no, it was a nice time. But it's always a weird thing I find when people, you don't really, what's the go to response is just go nice one, because then if you go, because I've said to someone before, being oh hello, cheers, and they were like, no, I don't like it. Like,
I just recognise you from it.
Yeah, I recognise you, but my boyfriend watched it, and all you do is talk about shit I don't know interest in. I'm like, all right, sweet, nice.
Thanks.
Well, wish your boyfriend well then in that case. Well,
yeah, it doesn't happen to me that often. So the Giants were in the Challenge Cup final. I'm always going to talk about hockey on this podcast.
Yeah, because I love it so much.
Challenge Cup final this year. I was very nervous. We were in the final. I haven't been playing well or anything like that. A guy came up to me, and I was sitting there with my girlfriend, and it normally never happens when anybody's around me. But this guy came up and was like, Jordan, you do stand up and stuff like that, yeah. And then we went on to win the game 4-0. So
a great day, all right.
If anybody's in Nottingham this weekend, please pretend to know who I am, and then hopefully
Are you in Nottingham this weekend?
I am going over on Saturday.
Are they in another final?
Yes, playoff finals.
So have they won 2 things this year?
Two so far. We're in line for the treble.
And how monumental is that in terms of hockey for the Giants?
It would be the first time we've ever done it if we didn't do it 2 years ago. So this would be the second time in 3 years.
Oh, right, okay. So it's the second time.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Like, I love the way he said it. It would be the first time ever if we hadn't done it. I was like, maybe, 2 years ago. So it is a bit. But so Giants hockey is in a good place.
It is going from strength to strength. You love to see it.
And how long have you been a Giants fan for?
Now, so my first ever game was the first game. My dad got us tickets for it because my dad loved ice hockey. Mm-hmm. Then through when I first started going religiously was about 2004, and then that went up until 2015 until I moved away, and then when I came back I kind of pretty much got back into it, and then the break for COVID, and so you're talking religiously. My first game 25 years ago, and 21 years ago, consistently going.
Nice. And so would the Giants rank, like, is that your favorite sports team?
Yeah.
Like, so that's the number one?
So, like, with other ice hockey teams and stuff like that, I have a favorite one in the NHL, but I would, like, if I see a nice jersey of another team, I will wear it, but I'd never wear anything.
The Nottingham Panthers?
Oh, God, no. I don't mind the Panthers. There's just a palpable hatred for other teams in the league. But
who are like the enemies of the Giants?
It's pretty much everyone when you're that good, you know. They're all vying for the title, and there's just big targets on your back when you're the best team and the most important team in hockey. Is the Giants have been called many different times by many different sports journalists.
Well, there you go. But also the Giants have that unfortunate stigma of having potentially the hottest coach.
Oh, that is a difficulty.
Well.
It takes a lot of pressure off the players, to be fair, when it comes to post-game interviews. But that's an issue. That's definitely an issue.
It's Adam Keefe, is it?
It is.
Yeah,
indeed,
he's. I mean, it's straight to say he's straight up Holly Patati. There's no doubt about that. And he
certified.
And he was a former Giants.
Yep, won
player.
2 cups. Yeah.
And how did he manage to get through such a violent sport and still keep his model good looks?
See, it's that rugged handsomeness that is weird because he has like scars all over his face, but it just adds to the kind of almost lumberjack-esque.
Like, I mean, if we close our eyes for a minute, right? Say we're both in a bath, right? We're closing our eyes.
I knew that was going to come up.
You know, we can just. I could picture him just in a pair of jeans, outside like a wood cabin, we fire burning, just chopping wood to just. In fact, we're in a bath. It's heated by wood fire.
It's like outside bath.
Yeah, we're in an outside bath, and
nice.
we're just. I don't know why we have captured Adam Keefe for whatever reason, and he is our personal lumberjack slave. A slumberjack, we'll call him. In fact, yes, because he puts us to bed at night. I mean, you can just see him there with. I mean, it's definitely going to be a checked shirt, sleeveless though. They're ripped off.
Not cut. So it's not tailored. It's
and he's maybe he's wearing Daisy Dukes. I don't know where this is going, but you can see him in that environment. I mean, working as a lumberjack. I don't mean owned by two rich homosexual men that are using them for their own pleasure. But I mean,
hey, where's this rich coming from? Yeah, where's this rich coming from?
No, it's the guys who stole money. Yeah, but basically, what I'm around about way and saying he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah,
he's a man's man, a good-looking, handsome, rugged guy.
Yeah.
Much love. Only respect. I'll not kidnap you. And if I do, I won't tell you. You know.
Oh yeah. That's one of the things you keep under your hat.
Yeah, or my helmet.
Yeah.
Because hockey.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, I just had to clear that out. So it's all very exciting. It's all a very exciting time, and it feels like from the outside perspective that it seems like things are going a bit. It's becoming a bit more mainstream. You're seeing a bit more of it in the wider media, even though all media is fake. I don't believe all that.
Yeah,
I don't believe all that.
Well, like, what direction are we going to go with this podcast today?
You know, 'cause sometimes I go down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, people think I am a right wing extremist, and I'm absolutely not. But I'm on it, so if I just ride this little fucking bird out into the sky. Worst analogy ever. Anyway, yes. But it does seem like there looks like there's good light shows and fire going on.
Man, it's a show.
Yeah.
You know, it is great.
Now, what I will say though, it seems like there's 14 games every 2 days.
The schedule is pretty. It's like you're talking at least 2 games a week kind of thing for the majority of the season, and that's what, like August to end of March.
And if you saw a Giant like in Tesco's, would you be starstruck?
So with the tour guiding that I've been doing recently, I've been around the Maritime Mile quite a lot. and I have seen a couple of giants out and about, and I haven't like went up and talked to them or anything like that. Just they're normal people too.
Yeah, okay.
But when they recognize me from doing stand up, it will doesn't get better than that.
That's the day made. Because I remember when they first started, when the franchise began here, like there was, I can't remember, maybe Smart Car or something. They gave all the Giants branded cars. Do they still have the branded cars?
They do. I don't think it's Smart Cars anymore.
No.
I think it's Hyundai. I could be wrong.
I mean, Hyundais are good wheels.
They are good wheels. I would, Hyundai, if you're listening.
You know what? Listen, some people do
Sort
that.
the boys out.
Like Shane's the kind of guy, be like, listen, can I have a free car? And people will just be like, okay, if you be our brand ambassador, Hyundai, I'll come to Japan or Korea. Sorry, I'll come to Korea.
Fuck.
I believe they're Korean. I apologize.
Have you ever been to Korea?
No, but I would be keen to go. I'd be keen to go south.
South,
Korea,
obviously.
ideally,
I would like to go to the demilitarized zone, the wee bit in the middle, the perineum of the Koreas.
The Korean perineum. Yeah. Yeah, well, the 10 north, 10 south. It'd be an interesting.
That'd be cool.
What would you do there? Just be there?
Just take photos. If we went, I don't know. The way when you go to like museums and stuff like that, and they have like, you can dress up like you're in World War One, and it's got all the. Yeah, if we could get like a South Korea and North Korea military garb, like it would be. It would be a cool photo shoot.
Like inside Carrickfergus Castle,
Yes.
where you get to dress up as a knight, just wooden boxes of Korean gear just in the perineum. Well, you should pitch that to both governments. Like, is there a face-off that goes on there? Because I know at some places they have, like, outposts and soldiers at each, and like they'll do like the ceremonial march and then stop up at the line.
Yeah, I think that's what that is. I'm not entirely sure. I recently went to Berlin and found out about East and West Germany, and it was that kind of thing where they brought like tanks literally to the line, and then I can't remember, was it Kennedy or Brezhnev or whatever it was, but they were like, if you back your tank up an inch, we'll back our ones, and then they just did that until there's no more threat.
Wow, that's
it's very interesting.
But I mean, I do find borders not very interesting.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I mean, a lot of ceremonies a bit weird to me sometimes. Like for those dudes to be coming out of a post doing this fancy march, I just imagine that's Korean version of Atachan, and then back again. It's like, why? What does that do other than be like, here?
It's just your strength, man.
This is ours. You know what I would do instead?
What?
I would get the most buff Korean dude, posing trunks to just do an actual bodybuilding pose down tricep, just and then be like, what do you think about that, Kimmy?
Yeah, all South Koreans are like this, by the way.
Yeah, jacked South Koreans.
Wasn't that a bit of, I don't know if it was British propaganda, but apparently in World War II, an American plane or something like that dropped a load of propaganda pamphlets and stuff like that, but they dropped off pretty large size condoms with this, and it said size medium on it, to make the Germans think that all the Americans had huge dicks or something like that, which I don't know if that won the war for the Allies, but I mean, it couldn't have hurt.
Yeah, can you imagine? It was, was ist this? This is medium.
Was ist das?
Was ist? Oh my God! It covers my entire body. I mean, I always like the think tank ideas of things. When you're in a room having like a planning, it always fascinates me how a group of people agree to an idea.
Yeah.
Like on the flip side of that, again, having been recently to Birkenau, the fact that I know at some point they would have a meeting to be like, this isn't efficient enough way of mass murder.
Yeah.
I don't like shooting people. It makes us sad. So how do we do it without us having to witness?
Yeah.
And then someone's gone, gas them, nice. It's a good idea. Actually, how can we go about this? Is there any way we can get the scientists in? Can you lads do? And the scientists go, rather than go, this is fucking mental, go, I reckon we can do that. Yeah, no bother. And I mean, we'll be okay if we put a gas. Yeah, spot on. And then they're like, roll it out.
Yeah.
We're going to build all these, get the crematoriums up, and people are like, great idea. Like in there, at some point, someone's going to go, what are we going to do to put the spooks? What are we going to quite literally do to put the willies up the German? How do you put the willies up the Germans? I have an idea. What's that? Big Joe bags? What do you mean?
Joe bags?
Yeah, big Joe bags.
I've never heard them described as Joe bags.
Big Joe bags, yeah.
I've heard them slickers.
Slickers?
Yeah.
I've not heard that. That sounds gross, but I like it. Slickers.
Yeah, it's like a rain jacket. When it's raining, wear a slicker.
Imagine, do you ever, in the moment where imagine trying to say something sexy about a condom going on. Do you have any condoms? Yeah. Stick that slicker on me.
Yeah, that's not
but then Joe bag's gross too.
Yeah,
just
true.
Whack on a Joe bag.
And you can't You can't go, you know, the proper name. Like, do you have any prophylactics? You
Yes, you mean prophylactics? Yeah. And he's like, I mean, if you were if you're somebody that spoke like this, you could say, do you own any sheaths for my member? Let me slip inside of the sheath and then slip inside of you. Yes, we call it from sheath to geese. Gross.
Yeah, I called my girlfriend a gee bag for the first time the other day, and
Did that go down?
she has never been more proud of me because it's a Dublin saying,
Yeah.
and I've never said it before in my life, but she says it, and it just, I know she must have annoyed me in this specific way. It's like,
In what context do you call it?
I can't remember exactly. It was in a light-hearted thing, so it wasn't a.
Wasn't like you fucking gee.
No. But it was quite funny.
Because that's always the funniest thing I see whenever you're reading about like a court case in the paper. The print of quotes, you know, they lack all context and tone and delivery and cadence. So if you're saying something, it's like, and like if I were like, I called Jordan Robinson like fucking a hateful cunt.
Yeah.
You'd be like, he called me hateful. I know, but I was like, oh, you hateful cunt. You know, that'd be like, oh, what's he like? Whereas I'm, you fucking hateful. You see it, you know. So if you're like,
no context in it.
He aggressively called his girlfriend a gee bag. You're like, oh wow. Whereas you could be like, oh, you gee bag. You know,
oh, you gee bag.
But what's the is there any swear terms that you have heard anyone say and it's just gone, that's amazing, that's I don't know how you respond to that.
Did you, like, in the early days of stand-up, did you ever go down to Dublin for the gigs?
I did, but then I nearly got wiped out by the tram, so I just didn't return.
The Lewis, yeah.
Oh, in fact, yeah, no, I didn't know if it was Lewis or if it was Dean or who it was, but yeah, I nearly got wiped out by that. But then I did a gig with a promoter who shall not be named, Voldemort, and they booked me a gig but hadn't booked it. I'd been promoting this gig in the venue, just didn't even know it was on. I drove down, I was like, yeah, I'm upstairs right now, there's another night on.
Oh, shit, serious?
But I mean, yeah, I'm sure you can guess who that was.
Yeah, Baltimore. And no, there was one time I was going down to do you remember Battle of the Axe? It was like a bit of a gong show that they used to do in the Halfpenny. I remember going down there, got the bus down, and I was walking along the Liffey, and there were these unhoused gentlemen having an argument, and it's not really a swear, but it's the first time I've heard this as an insult, that your dad drowns rabbits in the Liffey. Mm-hmm. I've never heard that before or since.
Yeah.
So I used to, and like when I first started talking to my girlfriend, I was like, here, is this a thing?
Yeah.
Just to know if it's an actual saying or not, you know, like coming up the lagging in a bubble's a saying that we all kind of know. But yeah, never heard of it. I think he just improv'd it there and then.
I think maybe the other fella's father might actually have murdered rabbits via drowning in the Liffey.
It's a very literal saying.
Yeah. That's great. Like I heard one last night. I was out for a few drinks, and it's not an insult, but it was you know, you just hear a great saying and go, that's brilliant. And they're like, oh yeah, my dad had an old saying, or he would say like, there was this fellow, if someone had a big nose, say his nose was so big he could smell Sunday roast on a Wednesday. Yeah, that was brilliant. That's a great one, yeah.
That was pretty good.
But I mean, in terms of like swears, I just love when people lose their mind.
Yeah.
Especially I find like whenever having kids around, you can't use the swear words, so you have to like alternate.
You have to, yeah.
And I find I go with nonce a lot. You know, not like it sounds like some medieval paedophile. Yeah, so Lord nonce a lot. Oh, if it isn't the man who's interested in the choir, it's Lord Noncelot. No, I would just be like, you nonce, and then they'd be like, what? And then one day I'm sure they will say it back, because that happened to me with Holly once, because she was in the car, and I remember someone cut me off, and I went, you dickhead, like that, and she didn't react, nothing. And then I was asking her about something on the TV or whatever a couple of days later, and I was like, oh, do you like this? And she went, nah. I was like, why don't you like him? She goes, oh, he's a dickhead. And I was like,
oh, God.
Oops. And then I'm like, that's entirely. And then another one, bastard. I use bastard a lot. So if I've heard Matilda go, oh, bastard. And it was when she's talking about a fly. There's a fly was flying around. She goes, oh, stupid bastard fly. Like, and I couldn't even say it to Catherine. I don't know where she's heard that. Because I'm definitely sure I've said silly bastard fly or stupid bastard fly numerous times.
But bastard's one of those ones where does it technically count as a swear word? Because I mean, like, bitch and bastard they're used for like certain things.
Yeah.
It's not just like swearing for the sake of swearing.
Yeah, like I still laugh though if I'm in the vets and someone goes, oh, is it a dog? No, it's a bitch. I'm like, oh yeah, right. Sure it is. Yeah. And bastard, like Holly technically is a bastard. She's an out of wedlock bastard. You know, which is why Matilda is my But
I'll be watching this back in 20
I know,
years.
I
Going
mean,
like,
that's one thing that I will definitely do in the future is erase
everything.
all the podcasts. See, whenever they can get on YouTube is not kids YouTube.
Yeah.
The
They're
end
gone.
of the podcast. That's it. Or it'll become a PG. It'll
Yeah.
be rebranded, a new name, and we'll be talking about like types of slacks I like to wear. You know, definitely not talking about what do you call slippers?
Slickers.
Slickers.
yeah.
Sorry, slippers, slickers, or dick bags, or
Yeah.
Joe bags, or whatever. Penis helmets. I don't know.
There.
But I mean, yeah, are you a fan of condoms?
Am I a fan of condoms?
Yeah, you a fan? Do you like protection?
I am insured. If I've got life insurance, if that's what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
nice. I was a fan of it, and then I wasn't, and then now I have 2 kids, and here we are. So.
Life insurance or condoms?
Oh, it's life insurance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I only got. Apparently, you get paid more if you have children. So you.
Oh,
pay,
serious?
I don't. Again, I don't know. You hear these like rumors. They could be urban legends. They could be true. They could be. But apparently, that if your wife dies and you have life insurance, they pay off your mortgage for you. So apparently, there's an incentive there
Yeah.
to kill.
To kill.
Yeah, you know, or be killed. And I mean, sometimes you don't like statistically you're sleeping with the person most likely to kill you, which is statistically true, isn't it? It's quite frightening. Really,
That
isn't it?
it's scary when you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because realistically, like if people are like you like myself are a fan of the macabre.
Yeah, very much
Yes.
so.
So we like to, but like if you wanted to play the long game, like you could, you know, get with somebody and be like, listen, and then start, I say, knocking them off in their sleep.
I probably would do a Burke and her kind of scheme if I was, and like I understand I'm being recorded when I say this
Yeah.
here, so this is all
So
hypothetical.
not Burke and out, Burke and her instead. Yeah.
Do you know the story about them? About
Yes,
them,
the grave robbers.
The grave robbers,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd do that. But then I'd like start off all innocent, just wait until they're buried, and then like a little mole digging up all the jewelry and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
then I'd start killing him.
But then I did think with those guys, it was probably the professors. These aren't fresh enough.
Yeah.
I need these cadavers to be fresher. My Lord Lancelot. I need to be able to smell the final breath on their tongues, please. But but I also feel a bit not sorry for them because they're a bit weird. But like in those days, jobs were slightly different. You know,
Very scarce,
You're
yeah.
looking for dough how you can get, and that was
And
pretty
the
lucrative.
Irish kind of xenophobia that you'd face going to different places, kind
Yeah.
of like Edinburgh and stuff.
But then, and that's who are good diggers?
The
Dogs, Irish.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if black people are good.
Yeah,
diggers,
but it works
sort of
well for
ties
it.
in
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
it ties
saying.
in with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, but that was interesting. For anyone who doesn't know, please regale them of the story of Burke and Hare.
A couple of guys from
It's a couple of dudes.
a couple of
What'd you
dudes.
say? A couple of
yeah,
bros,
both
yeah.
called William, which is
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Could be called the Billies then.
Yeah,
Billies.
I always thought they were from Donegal, but apparently they're from Newry direction.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense.
South
Those
down.
guys down around the border, they're good at digging too.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
digging lots, hiding all sorts down there, digging under borders, under tunnels. They're known as the
The mole
moles.
pe- yeah.
The mole people of Newry. Liam McCooey, mole.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Darren Matthews Mole.
Mole, yeah,
Yeah.
but he'd be like, but here I'm not from Newry, I'm from Desperate.
Yeah,
And I'd be
yeah.
like,
It's the
and
subtle
then see
difference.
anybody that's up here, we're like, it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I always get it. Like when I was like traveling in Australia and stuff like that, I would say. So I always had the preconceived notion that nobody knows it's going to be like, oh, you from Ireland kind of thing. They're not going to know, oh, you from County Down, Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. So I was just like, yeah, I just said I'm from Ireland when I was traveling and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But then like you were talking to people and he goes like, oh, you know, what part of County Down are you from? I'm like, you're not supposed to know that much
Yes,
about
too
someone.
much info, yeah.
Yeah, stop it. I'm like a leprechaun for all you know. That kind of thing.
But then
But-
whenever Dave Fit Finlay joined WWE, they went from Belfast, Ireland, and
Yeah.
that rattled a few feathers. And
Yeah,
he'd be
it
like,
did.
It's from Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Exactly. That every time I watched, what was it, SmackDown, my dad was like, "Oh, that's not
Yeah,
strictly
it's
correct,
not-
son."
yeah. But then you know what? Finlay, fair play to him. He was a man
From
from a
Carrickfergus?
nationalist background.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so.
Living
Might
in
be wrong.
Carrickfergus?
Yeah, back in the day, I believe.
Jeez.
But he still was like, nah, I'm, from Northern Ireland. Fair play to you.
Fair play to him.
You know what? There's only one we find out. This podcast is not.
I started
I'm
following
gonna-
him the other day on
You followed Fit Finlay?
on Instagram.
Yeah. And what's he up to now? He's still training, is he?
He's still training. He has a wife, some kids.
No, his son actually is a wrestler
Does he have a son?
called David Finlay.
Nice.
Fit Finlay, religion. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's
Political
go to here.
persuasion.
Oh, well, the question is he a Catholic bastard or a Protestant bastard? This is actually a page. There's no publicly available information that indicates the religion of the professional wrestler Fit Finlay. He's called David John Finlay. There's Irish and there's could be either or. But then he loves to be Irish, fighting Irish bastard.
That was his old thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's a Christian anyway, so that's. I mean, what does it matter? You know, he's a good guy. I love Finlay.
I need to know if I can like him or not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
True. Well, you know what we'll do. I will make it my mission in life to find out. My message.
Get him on the podcast. That would be great.
I would be starstruck if Finlay was in the podcast. He would be someone that I think I would struggle to.
He can bring. Oh, this would be a good. If we could get 4 mics and it's me and you sat beside each other, and him and Hornswoggle.
Oh yes,
that would be great.
That would be. But then he'd have to like sneak out from under the table or something. I mean, he was like his original character name. Do you remember what it was before he was called Hornswoggle?
No.
The Little Bastard.
Oh, cool.
So for about 3 weeks, Finlay's matches, there did be the Hornswoggle's a little person who was styled in the same way, like a leprechaun with Finlay's bleached blonde hair, and he would come out of the ring and interfere and like bite people and all, like a wee savage. And then every time Jim Ross would be, and there's that damn little bastard again, that goddamn bastard. And then like for about 3 weeks, you're like, and there's the little bastard. And then there must have been like, you can't call.
Yeah.
But you imagine it was probably Vince McMahon's idea. Call him a little bastard. Yeah, but that was a good time of wrestling. Finlay and Hornswoggle.
Yeah, Boogeyman, Little Boogeyman as well.
A little Boogeyman.
Do you not remember that?
I don't remember the little, but I remember the Boogeyman. Yeah. He was weird.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Arms,
I think he's making a comeback recently. I've seen some stuff like because I was super into WWE when I was younger, but then like the algorithm has locked on that I've been watching a lot on net since it's gone to Netflix. In fact, every night when I was on tour with William there, every night when we got back, I was like, "Can we watch another Royal Rumble when we get home?" Nice. This is the most rock and roll thing that you can do while on tour. But I've been watching like a bunch of it, and the algorithms picked it up now, and I'm getting all the wrestlers like Eugene, Scotty Too Hottie, all that kind of stuff is all coming back into my timeline.
And so you'd be then a big fan then of the work of Grandmaster Sexay. Scotty Too Hottie's tag team partner in Too Cool.
No, sir.
Yeah.
This is news to me.
Yeah,
see, Scotty Too Hottie was a little bit before my time.
Yeah.
My, staples like Evolution and stuff like that.
Now those guys.
Big Batista guy.
Cool.
I was a big Batista guy. I met him once. Did I ever tell you this?
No, we both met Batista.
Yeah. Have we talked about this?
I don't think so.
Where
I don't
did
think
you
we've
meet
had a
him?
Batista off in the gymnasium.
Ooh. Here?
Here, yeah, just up at would be Bannatyne's now, but it was Virgin Active back in the day.
Very cool. Well,
they were all there during the Ash Cloud.
Were you like? Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's another story I'll tell after that. But so you were just working out with him and stuff like that.
Well, I was working out. I went up to him. I was like, "Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Batista. Can I get an autograph, please?"
Did he give you one?
Yeah.
Man, I'll send this in. You can put it in the podcast if you want. I went to. I think this was before the Ash Clyde now, but the time before he released his book, Batista Unleashed, and he did a book signing for it in Eason's in town, just beside, McDonald's on Castle Street.
How random.
Yeah, and WWE were in Belfast, I think it was 2006, could be wrong, but Mum took me down to go see him, and there's a photo of Batista holding me, like because I was like a younger kid. I was still pretty podgy, but they had a sign. There was like nobody else about because I think this was like he was just about to leave, and we got there, and we bought the book, and my mum was raging because it was like $16.99. She goes like, "They'll fucking get you from any angle." So
She's right.
Yeah,
point out.
We get the book signed. My mum was like, "Can you make it out to Jordan?" Because I'm obviously starstruck. I can't even look at the guy. So he goes like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Writes to Jordan from Batista. And it said like no personalizations, no photos or anything like that. He's just signing the book. And my mum was like, can he get a photo with you? And I went and stood beside him. I was the most awkward kid ever. And my mum was like, can you not pick him up? And I'm not joking. What age am I? I'm like 13 at this point.
Yeah.
I am too old, too heavy to be picked up. But Batista literally just like kind of like picks me up and holds me like a baby that shat himself.
I need to see a photo. Please find that. I mean, what is also brilliant about that is it's just your mum doing that sort of Irish mother thing of just bossing around another adult man. Like, could you sign his name? No, we're not. You sign it. And he's stand beside him. Can you not lift him or something? And he's probably like, what the fuck? Yeah, probably could. Like, you know, that is hilarious.
And then my childhood best friend, his dad was a chiropractor.
Was that a wrestler?
No. That was
the chiropractor.
That would be a great angle for someone to have.
Oh, what a submission expert! Yeah.
Yes. He used to do all the adjustments and stuff like that for all the wrestlers that came into the Odyssey. So I have a program somewhere kicking about up in the loft of all the wrestlers. He got the signatures on the thing for me, so that was very cool.
It'd be very cool. Like it's apparently now it's real. Like everything in the world is a little bit less magical now.
Yeah.
I think everybody is too motivated by earning as much money. Like there's people who go and just get autographs like at airports, but will bring bags of stuff out.
I hate that shit, man. I hate it.
Don't do that.
And I really don't mind people like, you know, when you see celebrities and they go like, oh no, I don't sign anything. It's like I don't really see an issue with that. I don't think they're a dick for not doing it. Like. You know, it's just greed. That's all it is.
But that, I mean, like, see if
But would you buy something like that? Would you, like, buy an autographed, say, like, for example, someone sees The Undertaker at fucking an airport, gets him to sign a World Heavyweight belt, then I don't know, I
don't think I would buy it off like a...
one of those kind of places.
But I feel like there must be a black market for it somewhere.
There has to be. I don't even think it's a black market. I think it's just regular market.
But I also don't think that, like... I think it's not as like meaningful anymore.
Yeah,
because like you see on social media now, like CM Punk or John Cena will be sat down and they'll have a pen and there'll be stacks of posters. They sign, someone pulls it away, someone pulls it away, and it's like, you know, if there was like 10 of those, you'd be like, oh, there maybe. Yeah. But there's like thousands of them probably.
True. If there was one scenario where you would buy something like that, what would the thing signed be, and who would have signed it? Ooh, say you've got a budget of $5,000.
I would like to. I like to have, you know, if you see someone and it would be something good to have. Yeah. Like I think for me something from Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah.
Would be something maybe
signed sunglasses or something like that, or
I would like his book or his like encyclopedia of modern bodybuilding. I've got that. I would like him to sign it and just have a signed copy. Like there's that is a Pearl Jam signed poster, but I know that's not actually signed by Pearl Jam. But you know, if I were to get an actual Pearl Jam signed poster, that'd be cool. Like I'll give you an example. I did a gig with Foy Vance last year in the Opera House, and there's a few other comedians did nights with him as well. And I have a poster of that signed.
That's pretty cool. And there's a story behind that as well. Like.
But the poster's beautiful too. Like it's a really, really nice poster, and I'm gonna get the other comedians to sign it as well, just so everybody that's on the poster has it signed.
That's really
and then
nice.
Just gonna stick it up in the office at home. Like.
I like that,
and I think that's just nice to have. Now again, I don't like stuff. You know that I'd rather be personalized rather than, you know, have it just in.
Just a signature.
So yeah. I like to have it as again for a memento or a keepsake. And like I get, if I'm on something, like if I'm acting on anything, I would get my sides signed by the cast that have been in the scene with me or something, just again for me to have. Yeah. Not to sell, but just to, you know, so it's just for sentiment really. Yeah. You know, something I would do.
I think in terms of ice hockey, there isn't really anything because with the way the league is, it's quite accessible. They do like you know, meet and greets with the players and stuff like that. So if there was a player that you wanted to, like hypothetically, if you wanted it enough, you could go get it, kind of thing. But I would spend a crazy amount of money on a signed Tevez jersey. I think, like a West Ham one from 2006. Yeah, the job served one. You know the
And that would be one thing
that I wouldn't care where it came from, just as long as I knew it was authentic.
Yeah. I mean, it's still achievable, isn't it?
Well, I don't know.
Well, where does Tevez live in Argentina now?
Yeah, he was managing Boca Juniors there a while back, but I think the likelihood of me running into Tevez it's probably been and gone. Like, you know, I don't know when the right opportunity would have been, but
is he your favorite ever player?
Yeah, I think so.
See, I had something years ago. It would have been, I don't know the exact time, but I know it because of the game. Arsenal had just beaten Inter Milan 5-1 at the San Siro and had come to play their next home game, and I believe it was Fulham they played, and it was 0-0, and my uncle, for some reason had a connection at Arsenal and was able to get
Is this Highbury or
Highbury.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was able to get me and my dad behind to meet the players with now a lot of people with difficulties. So I was part of that crew, but I mean I was happy to. I don't know whether they thought I had difficulties or it was just, but I managed to get there and I got to meet all the players and get like photos with a load of them.
Very
So
cool.
they gave you like a pendant and they all would sign the pendant and you weren't allowed to get anything else signed other than the pendant. But when Thierry Henry was there, he was like Thierry Henry and Arnold Schwarzenegger would be my two like
He's a top
favorite guys. And I asked Henry would he sign the shirt that I had on. He signed a nice signed that, and I have that framed somewhere with the photo of me and him.
Very cool.
It was in my kid's bedroom, but so it's there.
Very cool.
But in that moment, all the players were around. So it was some big hitters like Freddie Ljungberg, Robert
Big fan of Freddie
Perez,
Ljungberg.
Lehman, Clichy, Gilberto.
This was
Henry,
before Adebayor, right?
Canu.
Yeah.
Canu was
Canu
there.
was there. Fucking
I
hell.
remember actually saying to him, trying to make
Small
him,
talk.
and he had just played. He had been an Inter player,
Yeah.
and then they beat them 5-1. I said, "Oh, it must have been a lot of fun to score against your old club." And he looked at me and went, "Yes, it was my old club." And I was like, "I know, I just told you that," but it was just the way he spoke. It was like, so yes, it was my old club, and I just remember that. But as they were all sort of going by, all the players went off into the distance, and I just remember hearing a real Belfast accent just go, Dennis, and like Dennis Bergkamp. I looked over, it was my dad, and he was like, Dennis, great to meet you, and all. Only one he spoke to was Dennis Bergkamp, just to get a handshake, and so it was. That was a good time.
That was cool as fuck, man.
But I think now, I think the older you get, the more you, and then obviously, if you do stand up, there'd be some people you might be on bills with that you're like, that's pretty cool, and you would, and like I think sometimes some of the bills you get to be on, or some of the people you get to meet through this, you have to you can't be a fan.
Yeah.
You have to, and as much as you be, like I have like Tim McGarry and Colin Murphy on the podcast in the last couple of weeks, and they'd be two guys that I think are unbelievable, you know, like legends.
Anyone I have a DVD of, I get a little bit starstruck of, like, and I have DVDs of both
him.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
But,
And I have Collins as well.
Yeah.
There. So, yeah, no, I'll not tell it. So.
No.
No, I don't. But it doesn't leave anybody in a good light.
No, but I was again. I got an acting role in something at the start of the year, and it was very weird. It was all very like I thought above my station, like, and. The person who's like the main star of it, she's like won an Emmy, and it's like really one of the most popular actresses kicking about right now. And they were like, "Yeah, you're actually in a scene with her." I was like, "All right, sweet." And it's like, and he's like, "You probably not meet her until you're on set." So I was like, "All right." So I did just got brought into this set. Like we're in Prague filming it, and I was like, sort of just dressed in a trailer, put my gear on, and then like driven over to the set, and in this big hotel, and just brought in, and then there she is, right there, and I was like, "Oh hi," she goes, "Oh, you're Dave, are you?" I was like, "Oh yeah, lovely to meet you." And she's like, "Yeah, good to meet you too." And then she worked and filmed some stuff in Belfast for a while. I was like, "Tell me all about the Europa and how her and her kid were living over here," and it was like great. I was just chatting away like about kids and life, and it was like, this is so surreal to me. And in my head, I'm kind of going, this is like, why did they not just get somebody that like lives locally? I look like everybody in Prague. You know what I mean? It was just such a weird moment, but really cool. And I'm like, well, how has this occurred? You know, it was all very weird, a very weird thing. But yeah, it's cool. But I think if you were to go back to that, like if I were to be on like a set with somebody, like even like probably like Batista or somebody, I'd be like, oh, it's Dave Batista, and it'd just be really weird.
Do you remember my mate?
Which one?
Just saying to Batista, do you remember my mate? You had to hold him like he shit himself.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, yeah, do you remember like? I don't remember the kid, but the mom. Jesus Christ, she was like, I wish I could have Batista bombed her through the signing table. Yeah. But yeah, my mum would be like, I think that's a mum thing.
Yeah,
they just want the best moment for their child.
Yeah, exactly. To the detriment of the moment, like.
Yeah, like my mum would be very, very supportive, but also I think she would kill for me.
Yeah,
and I have to sometimes remind her, like, no harm, I'm near 40, mum, it's okay.
I can kill for myself.
Yeah, I can kill for myself. But I mean, if you want to support me, that's cool. But yeah, I think my mum would be wild for it. But then I hate when you see stuff too, like if you know, like we supporters looking like a footballer pulls up the training ground and won't sign their thing and all. You're like, you rat.
Yeah.
You're a rat.
Yeah.
You rat.
The footballers are different.
Well, it was Garnacho. So
I was going to say the Garnacho thing.
Yeah, fuck you, Garnacho.
Yeah, did you ever do that? Go up to the gates after a game?
At Highbury,
Yeah.
it was class.
Yeah.
Because they just come in the front door.
Yeah.
So like at the start, you just watch and see them all go past, and it was like, and I remember like that was sort of early memories. Like my first game I went to see Arsenal was in the 95, 96 or 96, 97 season. Bruce Rioch was the manager for 96, 97.
Jeez.
So I'd have been 10.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like going out. The first time I saw the pitch at Highbury was under floodlights, and my dad was like, "That's one of my best moments in life, was seeing your face like lit up." And I remember it being so magical, and the horses, you know, the policemen and the horses, and the smell and the atmosphere being class, and like the players just get. Whereas at Highbury or Emirates, it's all like underground.
Yeah,
the buses just go underground. You can't sort of.
It's not the same. Like.
And I mean, it's probably better for the players.
Yeah,
you know, to come in and out and be a bit more discreet, but. I mean, if you're playing a Highbury and you're an away team, you can get all the fucking, you get it at you on the way in, like.
I love that. I love that.
That was class, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who my kids would be most like. Like I did an interview for the Daddy What's podcast, the BBC, with Bandit from Bluey, the guy Dave McCormick who plays Bandit, and like at that I was like, can you just say, are we recording as Bandit that I can play my kids, you know? So I like that, but. Yeah, I don't think you'd really ask anyone to do anything now. And then if it's one of those ones, if you'd never get a chance to ever see that person again, you'd probably be like, here.
Yeah, this is my only opportunity, kind of thing.
And if they say no, you know, you get a story out of it. And that's the beauty of being a stand-up. You know, you can make something into. Like, say you meet like Robert De Niro and he's an arsehole to you, you'd be like, well, I'm sad he's an arsehole to me, but this is a bit.
Yeah,
you know,
but and then you can take it from different angles. He's like, he was an arsehole to me, and I still love him for some reason. I don't get it.
Is there anybody like that would, if you think, even if they were an arsehole to you, it'd be still respect it, or it depends what sort of arsehole they are?
I guess if it's just it's like they kind of dismiss you, it's probably easier than them telling you like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And is there anybody that like, here's one, say you met the most divisive person in the world right now, Donald Trump,
okay,
and you have your opinions on him, you think he's going to be what he's going to be, say you met him. Trump strikes me as the kind of guy that could throw a soiree, like. I bet you he strikes me as a golf club expert, you know, like he walks around.
Yeah, he spends a lot of time there.
I bet he puts out a spread. I bet you're like, you know what, this is a good time. Actually, no, the guy's still an absolutely maniacal narcissist, but he can throw a party.
Would I attend the party?
If he invited you, like, would you go, or would you be like...
So is it just to attend the party, or is it doing stand-up?
I want to see 10 minutes from Jordan Robinson. They're fantastic, Jordan Robinson. You'd be like, well, there's a poster.
Yeah, that's the quote.
Or would you just become the MAGA? Would you be like an Andrew Lawrence type character, just go for the right?
Yeah, just really lean into it.
Yeah.
If the money's there, I probably would do. I did a similar gig for an organization that I am not, let's just say, a fan of recently. And because the money was good.
At the Ardash?
Yes. That's exactly what it was. But no, just because the money was good. But then I kind of lent into the fact that I don't really like this organization too well, and I did. The children. Hate them all. Yeah. And I did jokes about it that they obviously didn't enjoy, but I felt a little, I don't know, I felt a little bit better for doing it and accepting the money.
That is the sort of way up. I think now, like, there's been a few things I've turned down because it gives me that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, like, say if your first feeling is, it would take a hefty sum, like the Saudi government, if they were like, would you do it? I'd be like, I don't know, it's a lot of, like, we'll pay for you to go to Saudi, and this is what the money is. I always weigh up whether it's my integrity is worth it, or whether or not, like, it feeds my kids for, like, or pays the mortgage for a bit.
Yeah,
you know, it's
exactly.
Like,
get you a Giants ticket.
But
you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, if that's the priority. But like, for me, the main thing is the kids. Like, so I'm like, if I have to, I'm like, and then sometimes if I say, like, there's been a couple of things I've turned down, and I've said to Catherine, I won't do that, and then she's like, what's the fee? And I've told her, and she's going, you're an idiot. And I'm like, but then I can never be content in my feeling like my integrity matters anymore. You know, and there's been a couple of things that I've been offered and I've just said no to out of principle. And I feel way better because of the shame I have felt in the past over doing certain things that I did not want to do. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't done that. I've spent the money. I'm like, oh, that's still out there.
Yeah, true.
Gross, you know. So
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you weigh it up yourself.
and then there's some
I can
gigs,
sleep at night. I'm fine.
Yeah, there are some gigs that are so stinking, and you know they're going to be stinking,
Mm.
and then you've got offered a load of money, and then they're stinking, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, you're just closing your eyes thinking about
like
the
I
money.
remember I turned up to a gig. It was decent money. I was actually filling in for somebody at a wedding.
Was it the gig was a wedding?
Yeah, but then by the time I got there, Bits and Pieces was already on, and people were on the dance floor.
Oh no.
So I got there, like, they wanted me there for 9. I got there at 9, and then I wasn't on until 10:30.
Oh my god.
And people had already started drinking already, and then it was just across the border. So the MC or the whatever woman was like, I said to her, "Oh, can you introduce me?" And she was like, "No, can you just do it yourself?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, you've been doing this all night. Just introduce me.
Yeah.
Whatever, it'll be fine." And she goes, "What's your name?" I told her my name. She goes, "Okay." She walks out. She goes, "This guy's got something to say." So it didn't say I was a comedian.
Yeah.
Didn't say I was booked as part of the thing. Didn't. And then I just started going out and doing a wee bit of like crowd work and roasting, and people were like, "What the fuck?" And then like it was okay, but afterwards I remember driving home going, "I will never do another wedding as long as I live."
That's probably the thing you get asked for most if anybody's going to ask you to do a gig after, like, say someone sees you in the Empire Laveries or something like that, they'll come up to you like, "Oh, we're getting married, we'd love to have
Just
stand-up or
Laveries for
wedding."
me. I don't get booked in the Empire. Yeah.
But they say, "Oh, we'd love to have stand-up at our wedding and stuff like that, and we'll get in contact with you." That's possibly the scariest threat anyone can do to a stand-up comedian, because we won't say no to the money, but we will understand that the likelihood of this gig where everyone at the wedding is going to have a good time is very, very slim.
Yeah, and my first gig back post-COVID was at a wedding, and like my whole shtick at the time was life shit, getting married shit, I wish I was dead.
How did that go down?
Didn't. But then obviously Shane had done what Shane does a lot of times, gets a Sherpa in to
ease the blow. Yeah.
No, eat the shit basically. And then he comes along looking Mr. Fantastic, you know, and I know if he offers me a gig, "Oh, do you want to do this? I'll give you." I'm like, I know now.
Yeah, what
you
it
know
is.
that's going to stink, and you're wanting me to take a bullet. And sometimes I think the more you do it, and the maybe more older you are and established and weathered and experienced, you're sort of going, I actually don't think that's worth it for that, you know, amount of money. And that's what it was. And I was like, you know, I remember looking at the group. Are you sure you've made the right choice? There's still time. I don't know if you've signed the legal papers, but and he was like, I was like, I'm only Jesus joking.
Joking.
And then Shane came on with King of the Day, and then you're sitting there going, I've just ruined everyone's.
Yeah, my brother is getting married at the end of next month, and
is that why you were?
I was getting the suit fitting. Although I'm not joking, and this is no slight to Jonathan Bow, friend of the podcast.
No, he's not.
Oh, is he? Fuck Johnny Bow. No,
I
I love him very much. He for his wedding, he suited me out.
Yeah.
I went to a place today, got suited out, and it was just a little bit better.
Are you going? Is this suit beef?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I don't know. It was one of those things that I think it was more the fact that the place I went today actually had a suit that fitted me. So I felt a lot better.
Yeah.
The fact that they didn't have to order.
Yeah, it is very awkward being a man of size.
Yeah, ample. Yeah, husky gentleman.
Like, I'm also not normal dimensions on top of
I've got
size.
wee short legs. Look,
how long are your legs?
I don't even know. I literally I in fact, when he was measuring me today for he goes like, I'm like, please don't tell me what my leg size is. I don't want to know.
28, mate. It's mine, 28 inches.
Jesus.
Yeah, stumps, man. Like I'm full. Like I am Hornswoggle's dimensions, but expanded. You know, I'm
just stretched out.
Yeah, but then that's the thing. Like over the last wee while, I've lost a few kilograms and feeling a bit better. And I'm a bit more okay, because the reason why I was like, I need to just lose weight was I did not enjoy my physicality in Krakow. I didn't like going to like the baths and stuff. I was very and I'm going on holidays in a couple of months with the kids, and I just want to be able to be
shirtless in the pool kind of thing.
Nude,
nude. Just want to run naked.
No, I just want to be I want to be able to run about with the shirt off. And
genuinely, what helped me with that, I never liked going like shirtless and stuff like that, because obviously the bosoms. But with the scar now, the zipper scar, I don't know. It's almost like it takes a lot of the attention off the tits.
Yeah. I mean,
and vertical lines are very slimming. So
true, yeah. but not too many of them because they can be the opposite effect.
Yeah,
but
it's like hypnotize people.
Yeah. But no, I think I feel like there's a line in terms of like health and also vanity. I feel like I went through a period where I was very comfortable in myself and like I was like, this is me, I'll be top, it's fine. But then it's like I let that comfortableness slip into me getting heavier and I'm more out of shape, going to the gym less, muscle turn to fat, uncomfortable. And then I remember there was a moment maybe 2 years ago on holidays. Now this just shows you how long it's taken me to pull the finger out 2 years ago. But I had to walk a lot across a water park with Matilda to go to the toilet. And I was topless. I've never felt more self-conscious in my life.
Oh, for
the
real?
whole way. And I was like, and then I saw photos. There's one particular photo that's going to be my redemption arc, the starting
nice.
point, where I'm in the pool and I'm just like I'd always like if I've had fat, I'd have always looked still strong underneath it. You know, I'd be like, he looks like he must maybe be a prop or something. I just looked like a big fat cunt. It was disgusting for me to see. And that's the photo. I'm like, I'm going to be back in the pool this year. I'm going to be so a couple of weeks to go until I'm doing the marathon. I'd like to lose another maybe 3-4 kilograms for that, and then we'll start lifting again.
Nice.
I'm just going to hopefully shred up.
Yeah, shredded wheat.
Yeah, just wear thongs, nothing else. Just a thong and tan all over. That's the goal. So
that'll be interesting.
yeah, it'll sight.
I have one of those things where it was more of the ability for exercise that got me. We went to Redburn Country Park.
Yeah. By the way, steep.
Oh, I found out the hard way.
Yeah.
So do you know the story about the bear pit there?
Well, no, this might be is this a dogging thing?
No, it isn't.
Oh, well, no, I don't.
No, so so I learned this. I'm doing the course at Belfast Met at the minute, and I'm learning more about Belfast than I've ever learned and the surrounding areas. Found out about this guy called Robert Lambert Dunville. Dunville whiskey fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds like he has that accent as well. So he was a philanthropist. He owned cotton trade. He started a distillery football club. His whole family.
Let's just go over that one. He was a philanthropist. He owned cotton trade?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I don't. So I'm not. I'm not an expert, so I can't exactly say. But you know, cotton trade into linen and stuff like that, and then owned distillery football club.
Hence the name
whiskey.
Wow.
Yeah, Dunville's whiskey. He was also a great animal lover, and he had his stately home at Redburn there, and he had a load of animals. So lions, tigers, bears, and he had like a bear pit dug out where he kept a bear called Bruno. It was a black North American bear. He kept it there.
He didn't do anything with the cotton with that particular bear.
No. David Elliott. There's a story about him getting wasted and letting the bear off his chains, and there was he was having like a soiree, a little house party, and everybody's cars are just getting vandalized by this American bear, just like slashing the tires and stuff like that.
That is actually an unbelievably great story,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So I actually have a little side idea brewing. I'll talk about it to you later. But so he went to Johannesburg to visit his in-laws, and on the way there. You don't have to do the accent, it's fine.
I know what's coming. I know what's coming.
He ended up dying from... See?
Didn't know what's coming.
Switching it up. After he died, the majority of the animals that were in his private zoo were donated to the Belfast Zoological Society, which made up the nucleus of the original animals that are in the Belfast Zoo.
There you go. So Big Bobby Dunville is a man. I thought you were going to say, like, you know, whenever you hear people, they go places and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to Port Rush for the day. Oh, I can't possibly go to Port Rush without coming home with a stick of rock. I thought you were going to tell me, oh, he headed to South Africa. Oh, I couldn't possibly come home without a springbok or a gnu for the garden. You know, I thought you were going to say he curated another animal, an African elephant.
No,
for the gardens.
I think given the opportunity, he probably would. But yeah, no, that's an interesting story, and not many people know about it. And the bear pit is still there. You can go visit it today.
Nice. And is it in the country park?
It is in the country park.
Is his old gaff still kicking away?
I don't know. I think it went into a state of disrepute. I'm not sure, but we only went to go see the bear pit.
That's a shame because to me that was just, I'm a big National Trust guy, and I thought that screamed National Trust, didn't it? It's a shame. A bear pit, because a bear pit to me sounds like it might be a gay bar.
Yeah. You would assume that, but no, not the case.
I mean, I'm sure there is.
Well, maybe
A
if
bear
it gets
pit out there.
renovated, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a wee bit like, you know, the old original, like, Teddy Bear's Picnic. If you go out to the woods today, you're in for a big surprise. Imagine the literal surprise if you brought your kids out to Redburn and there was an actual bear in a pit. It'd be absolutely terrifying.
Be good. Yeah, it would be cool
Yeah.
to see.
But that's really, really interesting.
And yeah,
I
that's
love that.
that's where I found out that my like, I don't know, my cardio levels aren't probably where they should be for someone wanting to take walking tours around
Yeah.
Belfast.
But I mean, how do you, like, is that something you're looking to work on, your cardio fitness?
I don't
Are
know.
you able to, or would it be
No, I am.
dangerous to you?
I am able to yeah, to a certain extent. Obviously, I kind of know my limits and stuff, but like I'm a vapor, you know.
Yeah, vapist.
Yeah, vapist.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, I hopefully by the end of the year, knock that in the head, and
Yeah.
then I'll have no more vices because I don't drink anymore, I don't smoke, don't take drugs. So vaping's my only vice,
Yeah.
and I would like to get rid of that so I can really experience life without any
Yeah.
crutches.
Well, I mean, I am not a runner by any stretch of the imagination, and I've had to really start.
I
Low, and-
never was. I always got like shin splints. You know,
Yeah.
the like it felt
Oh.
like your shins were about to explode.
Yeah.
I always got that pretty
It's
bad.
not nice, but I must say I do enjoy walking. I do enjoy going
Yeah.
on little hikes. I do enjoy that, and I think like
I'm a big National Trust
Yeah.
guy as well.
I
Well,
love it.
We went over Wallen recently.
Ral's great.
Yeah, but we thought it was bigger than what it was
Uh-huh.
because I haven't been for like the proper walk since I was a kid. So me and Vicky went and we just did like laps of the place. We did like 3 laps.
It is quite like
Yeah.
it's like Mount Stewart. You can get a big trek.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good.
It's nice. I
Um,
like Mount Stewart. It's
And
pretty
also,
good.
what's the one?
Castle Ward.
Castle Ward. Yeah.
Castle Ward's great.
Game of Thrones was filmed.
Yeah.
Winterfell, you bastard.
Bastard.
That was great. I love Castle Ward. It's
Yeah,
a big walk
it's
too.
great.
But on a brisk day, whew, you get the nipples
Oh yeah,
frozen
yeah.
off you,
Just because it's right
around
on the
lake, yeah.
on Strangford Lock. So.
Like I am obviously you would be a fan of that area too, but the peninsula is great.
Oh, sir.
The peninsula is
It's just ruined by the people.
yeah. The sea cultures
The sea cultures.
they definitely bring it down there.
No, everyone. I have good friends from
Yeah.
Portafogie and stuff like
Oh
that. Yeah.
man, Portafogie,
Oh, the Scampi.
great spot,
the
great
Scampi capital of the world.
Yeah, that's where the Keys is.
Yeah.
The new Keys, Portavogie. I want to give a shout out to one of my favourite restaurant bars.
Oh yeah.
The new Keys, Portavogie. Unbelievable. The seafood there, bon appetit. We were there a couple of weeks ago and just delicious.
Very good.
Delicious. Went there for Mother's Day,
Ooh,
I think, yeah.
it was my birthday on Mother's Day, and there was like the internal struggle, which
Uh-huh.
takes first place. Is it my birthday or Mother's Day?
Yeah.
So
But doesn't Mother's Day sometimes change dates?
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you probably get a few that's alright.
yeah, well, I don't know. I was just like, my mum wanted to go out for dinner, obviously for Mother's Day. I was
Uh-huh.
like, it's my day.
Yeah.
So
But then your mother probably would have just been like, "You're going," because that sounds like the sort of woman that would have been forced that.
you
If she
see,
could make Dave Bautista just lift you, I think she could force you to go out for dinner with her.
So what happened was there was a Giants game that day, so I ended up going to that instead, and I think my mum and my brother went to the outlet in Banbury.
Yes.
Yeah, so everybody won.
Everyone's a winner.
Everyone's
Yeah.
a winner, baby.
That's the truth. Well, Jordan, listen, I'll just double check to see if there's a.
Yeah,
Oh
go
yes, I've got a question. I only put the questions up very last thing this morning because you know what I was doing. Other things, and and so there's a question from Joe there, and Joe said, "What is the best dramatic or serious acting performance that you've seen from someone that made their name as a comedian? Is Robin Williams the greatest?" That's good. So which comedian that's acted seriously do you think?
Yeah, Robin. But what?
The 1 hour photo, are we thinking?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go for.
Yeah, that was
Definitely not Bicentennial Man, but
No.
1 hour photo was fantastic.
Bicentennial Man. Is to be fair, when Bicentennial Man was made, it was sort of, there wasn't still an open and LGBTQ plus scene as there is now. So for him to be a bisexual robot was very, very impressive actually, and I think he needs to be lauded for that. So yeah, you think Robin Williams? Do you think he is
1
the
hour
best
photo.
comedian, serious actor?
I'm struggling to think of any other examples.
Dave Elliott in Blue Lights season 2.
No, but comedian, like. Are we doing an office stare at the camera thing?
No.
I'm
but
trying
no.
to think. No, me and Blue Lights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Was it Blue Lights? What was the thing? Belfast Blues.
Yeah.
That's the one I
I
was
was
going
like,
for.
has he done some sort of fucking Shutter Island on me? Yeah.
You've always been here, Dave.
Yeah. But what about I think the dudes are really good from League of Gentlemen.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I think-
sorry. I was
what do you
thinking
call
too
it,
much
Steve
stand-up. Steve
Pemberton?
Pemberton, Reece Shearsmith, and Mark Addis.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Okay,
I think
yeah,
it's
no, they
Steve
get mine.
Pemberton.
They
I
get
think
mine.
he's, yeah.
For everything in Inside Number 9, I'm the biggest cheerleader of that show. I fucking love it so much.
Yeah, and then also people who like. I mean, it's not as serious a thing, but like Sacha Baron Cohen going from.
Oh, Adam
You know-
Sandler. I haven't seen Uncut Gems, but
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah, he was very good in that actually. But then yeah, so I mean, I think it lends itself to acting because you're acting on stage, really, aren't you?
Essentially,
You're
yeah.
But then like that's why it's fun to do something serious, is people don't expect it. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
there's not really any pressure. But then people are like, oh fuck,
It's
that's
a bit of a
surprise.
curveball, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
Nice.
that's good fun to do. But like, I haven't really done like the majority of things I've done, with the exceptions of Blue Lights, have been in some way comedy.
Yeah, comedic,
Main,
yeah.
you know. So like, I've done any new kids show coming out soon. Yeah,
Are you Bluey's cousin?
no, I wish. Oh fuck! See if I got on Bluey. Shit. I mean, they're going to be an Irish dog. I'm going to message Dave McCormick, be like, "Can I be the voice of this Irish dog, please, Dave?" But no, I'm a bungling henchman.
Oh,
in a
very
kids
cool.
TV show coming out soon. Yeah. Again, that's my way of like wanting to do things if I'm offered it.
Yeah.
Is to be, will I enjoy doing it?
Yeah.
Or will the kids get to see me? And this is a show they watch, so
Yeah.
it'd be nice to be like,
Very cool.
what do you think of that guy?
Yeah.
And then they'll probably be like, I don't care.
Yeah,
you're not like.
Yeah, I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
That big bastard.
He's a
or something. I don't-
stupid big freak. I don't like him at all. And like that's what Holly said to me. She's the other day. She's like, they love the Gladiators. The series ended there, the Gladiators, just the other week. And she's like, would you ever be a gladiator? Matilda asked, would you be a gladiator, Daddy? And Holly went, no, Daddy doesn't look like those guys. And I was like, all right, Holly, thanks. Thanks, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you, Jordan. As
Oh,
always,
look at that.
it's always
That's
a pleasure
Perfect wrap
to
up, man.
be on the Sly Guy podcast. I feel like you're one of the easiest guys to just shoot the shit with. We always find fun things out and have a real laugh, a real good time. Is there anything you're doing at the minute and you're plugging, anything you want to shout out to other than Adam Keefe?
Adam Pleef. Adam Pleef. I can't even
Adam
say his name. Adam Pleef. Best of luck in the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know he's a big fan of the show. So
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, this is the one weird thing about podcasting is you would be surprised who listens.
yeah.
And some people you'll get messages from the old time. You go, wow, that's pretty cool. But I mean, definitely share it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. For sure.
Promote it. But Jordan, as always, pleasure, never chore.
That's the first time we've ever shook hands on a podcast
Yes.
as well.
I don't know what sort of deal with the devil, but we've made it. We made it, so.
I'm the sly guy.